Audi describes the new Q2 as untaggable, which I guess is a way to say that it defies conventional description. And in fact, it is very difficult to categorize because it is more SUV than hatchback, but it's also more crossover than SUV, and it's certainly sportier rather than rugged. Most of all though, this is a very unique and very individual car.
Indeed, individuality is what Audi's lifestyle compact is all about. It recognizes the global fascination with SUVs, but it also acknowledges that a lot of SUV buyers are attracted by the image rather than the utility of these vehicles. The Q2 stands taller than a hatch, but its focus is on sporty, distinctive motoring rather than on all-terrain versatility. The raised ride height helps visibility in traffic, but it's not elevated enough to compromise the Audi's road manners. It's also a head-turner.
The Q2 is Audi's most radical car in a very long time. These very crisp geometric lines are a complete departure from the very blobby, very rounded look of the current Q3 and the Q5. Also has a very low, wide planted stance, a tapered roofline and a squared off single frame grille, all of which makes for a very different but very attractive looking Audi.
The Q2 doesn't have any real direct rivals. It's smaller and sleeker than the BMW X1 and the Mercedes-Benz GLA, as well as the Audi Q3 for that matter. But it's also larger and more premium than mainstream compact SUVs like Peugeot's revamped 2008 and the Opel Mokka X. Audi is pushing the uniqueness of the Q2 hard, and that may indeed be one of its strongest selling points. Exclusivity is always an alluring drawcard. That said, the Q2 is distinctive without becoming odd or quirky. That goes for the cabin too.
The Q2's cabin mirrors the same minimalist contemporary approach you've already seen in the latest A4 and Q7. It really is a very open, very clean and very approachable space, and ergonomics particularly well executed. Also the option of the virtual cockpit. Interior-wise, more space than you'd have thought from what is actually quite a compact car, although you do realize that this is a smaller car when you look at the boot, which is just a little bit more compact than expected.
That said, Audi claims a 460-litre capacity, and if you need more, folding the split rear seats down bumps up cargo space to more than 1,000 litres. The execution is top-notch, with a fair array of standard kit, but keep in mind that our test car was fitted with extras worth 118,000 Rand. The virtual cockpit instrumentation adds a reasonable 6,400 Rand, but it has to be combined with Audi's 24,000 Rand navigation system, which makes it a pricey option.
For now, the Q2 is offered with a single engine choice only. It's the familiar 1.4-litre four-cylinder TFSI turbo engine, delivering 110 kilowatts of maximum power, linked to 250 newton-meters of torque. But by May, there'll be some more engines, including a 1-litre 85-kilowatt 200 newton-meter engine, also turbocharged, and a 2-litre turbo diesel with 105 kilowatt and 350 newton-meters on tap. Gearboxes, a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed S-tronic dual-clutch transmission, drive to the front wheels only.
The engine offering is a humble if high-tech one. The 1-litre 3-cylinder mill, which is also on offer in the current A3, may be a particularly hard sell in the Q2 context, although it's likely to be friskier in practice than on paper. For now, the 1.4 TFSI will probably be the most popular choice, delivering ample pep together with the promise of good fuel consumption. The TDI may end up being the better long-distance cruiser though, especially with a full load of passengers and luggage on board.
The Q2 looks dynamic, but it's not exactly sporty. Performance probably better described as brisk. The 0-100 time dispatched in 8.5 seconds, top speed 212 kilometers an hour. But perhaps more importantly, the turbo engine always feels willing. There's good in-gear tractability, and it really does never feel like a small 1.4-litre engine car. Of course, the turbo makes a big difference there as well. And in terms of chassis, because this is a new technology car, it really handles with a great deal of confidence.
So while it's not super fast, the Q2 does feel lively enough, and the chassis is clearly capable of coping with more urge. It certainly doesn't feel like an SUV, despite the raised stance. The Audi corners with gleeful precision, and the steering offers enough feedback to make for entertaining handling. The ride on the optional 18-inch wheels and 50 profile tyres is taut but composed, but on our bumpy country roads, the standard 17-inch wheels and slightly taller 55 profile tyres might well be a better option, even if they don't look quite as sexy.
The Audi Q2 has no direct rivals. It's sleeker and funkier than the larger Q3, but it also flaunts Audi's evolving and increasingly edgier design language with great aplomb and great confidence. It's also fun to drive and unmistakably premium. But all of those attributes come at a hefty price premium, and that may just prove too much for mainstream success.
Audi's familiar 1.4-litre TFSI engine and 6-speed manual gearbox are a good match, delivering useful urge to the front wheels and contributing to a frisky, entertaining driving experience. The styling is refreshingly edgy, while the cabin execution is unmistakably premium class. However, the pricing is on the steep side, especially when you tick some of those option boxes.